Hey, we're gonna be taking some video and stuff of the eclipse, but it's been really hot and humid the past few days, and these funny looking mushrooms have grown. Hey, look. There's an immature one over there, looking all red and cherry-like. But then we got the big ones.
They look like pancakes, right?
Yeah, they totally just look like big fluffy pancakes. That's just a muffin that someone threw away, but that's a pancake mushroom. Look at them. Are they adorable? That one really looks like a pancake.
And they're so red. Look at the baby one. It's gonna go over there.
Look at the little tiny one. Just thought that was an amusing little thing to see. Because these are actually kind of big mushrooms. They're a few inches across. Okay, on to the sun. Okay, so here we are out on August 21st, the day of the eclipse. We got our little eclipse viewing glasses. When you put them on, you can't see a darn thing, but the sun is bright enough to shine through them. Right now it's still a perfect circle, so the eclipse has not officially started yet. And I got my telescope here. And just like with the transits, I'm going to use the telescope to project the sun so that we'll be able to see it, on the thing. Now, it's also possible to get a shot of the sun directly. Just let me get a hold of the camera. And if we put the lens of the sun filter here, yeah. So that's what the sun looks like. Now the camera can't see quite as well as a human eye in this situation, so that's why I'm going to do the projection thing. Oh, yeah, remember, if you look at a solar eclipse directly, your eyes can adjust to darkness, and then even the faintest sliver of the sun can cause instant blindness if your eyes are prepared for darkness. Of course, I don't really think that's going to happen here because we're not getting a total solar eclipse, but, still, if you want to actually appreciate what the sun looks like, just dazzling your eyes by looking at it, like, you don't want to do that. Don't look at the sun. Alright, so yeah, we're going to set up and hopefully have everything ready by the time the eclipse proper starts. Okay, so, as you can see, there's the projection. We see the sun. Of course, it's low contrast to the camera, so I probably can't even see it. But I'll take pictures of the camera and enhance the focus like I always do. Wait, can I even do that? I don't have Photoshop anymore. Well, I'll figure something out. But yeah, once the eclipse actually happens, this will make a lot more sense. So yeah, once the eclipse actually starts, we already got the setup. As here we have a telescope pointed directly at the sun. And Mom came up with a pretty nifty trick. There's a little guide telescope here. So when you line it up with the paper, you see that little bright spot of light. That's how you know it's pointed at the sun. And you don't have to risk damaging your eyes looking at it. There we go. And there is an annoying fly that has noticed us, and it will not stop buzzing around our heads. Alright, so... the camera really doesn't know how to focus on an object as distant as the sun, but the eclipse just started. If you look closely, you can see just a little bit of the right side has a bit of a sliver taken out. That's the very edge of the moon's shadow beginning to move in. Yeah. That's why I'm even though I have these eclipse goggles, I'm still using the projector because the telescope is still going to project that image, and it'll make it a lot easier to see because the camera doesn't know how to focus the way our human eyes do. Okay. There. You can see right there, you see how the moon's shadow is just taking a little tiny nibble off the edge of the sun. It's hard to see because the camera doesn't It's a low contrast environment of white on white. And somebody is running a leaf blower or a lawnmower or something in the distance, but that's not gonna kill our buzz.
I can see it right at the top. See it?
Yep. Of course, this is what I take the picture with my picture camera for. Okay. You can see right there, you can see the little chunk that's growing very slowly as the moon consumes the sun. To the naked eye, the moon's shadow is coming from the right and moving left. On the telescope, it's upside down, so it looks like it's from the left moving right, but, you know, everybody knows how telescopes work at this point, hopefully. So yeah, it's 1:30 right now, and as it progresses, I'll give timestamps. It's hard to hold the camera straight up. Alright, earlier, there was a cloud in front of the sun, lowering its brightness, but now that the clouds have gone away, you can clearly see the eclipse progressing. It's 1:38, about 5 minutes after the last recording, and my camera still doesn't know what to focus on because it's used to looking at faces and stuff. But yep, you can definitely see the moon taking a nice significant chunk out of the side there. Most of the sun is still visible, but hopefully that will change. Like I said, we are nowhere near the path of totality, but alright. It's hard to really see with the camera, so I'm hoping this is coming out. But you can see the moon shadow there, and if you look really close, you can see a few sunspots on the surface as well. You can observe sunspots anytime like this, but now we're using it to look at an eclipse, which is really fun. This is kind of like when I was observing the Mercury and Venus transits before. And of course, it's going out of alignment because the sun is constantly moving, and my telescope is just a basic manual telescope. It's not automatically tracking the sun. I'm just physically moving it to keep pace, so that's why the alignment's not completely ideal. Hopefully, when the partial eclipse hits its peak, then I'll get another nice image of that. Look at that. We are getting into it now. There is absolutely no cloud cover right now, so we are able to really get a good view of this eclipse. And I don't even have to worry about the focus because the projection is so bright right now, it's making the cardstock look gray. Yeah.
What time is it?
Hold on, my wrist is tangled. It's 1:52, and the sun is moving. Yeah, so that's what happens when you make a telescope, make the disk of the sun appear like 10 times bigger. It also appears to move 10 times faster. Plus, with the angular radius of the angular diameter of the sun, it's like filling up the telescope's entire field of vision. So there's almost no margin for error outside of the circle of the telescope's projection. The edge of the circle, as you can see, it cuts off the sun. So I want to show you the part of the sun that's being eaten by the moon. Yep. Ancient cultures, they actually fired arrows, flaming arrows at the sun to try and relight it. There were Chinese emperors that executed members of their court for not predicting these things. And now we know everything about it, so we can observe the amazing thing that happens without being terrified of the implications, because, well, there are no implications. Just don't look directly at it and you'll be fine. Science! There we go. It's really hard to keep it in focus for more than a couple seconds because the camera honestly does not know what it's looking at. Okay, so here it is. It's 2:03, and we can see that the moon has overtaken about a third of the sun's surface, maybe a little bit more than a third. Like I said, we are not going to experience totality here in New York, but we're just about a half hour away from the solar peak. So as much of the sun that's going to be taken out will be taken out in just under a half an hour from here. And as you can see, this already starting to move out of the line. I wish I had a telescope that could just keep track of objects, and I wouldn't have to spare a hand to manually reline it. So yeah, that's that is so the moon overtaking the sun. This is actually really cool.
It is cool though.
All right.
What time is it?
It is 2:18. Look at that. The sun just looks like a crescent at this point. It's too bad we won't get totality, but a surprising amount of the sun is being taken out. I was actually not expecting this much.
Whoa.
Take a few steps back. There we go. Look at that. That looks amazing. I'm pretty sure we're within minutes of the peak. We gotta remember this: the moon's shadow moves across the surface of the Earth at about 1,000 miles per hour.
Oh, stop shaking the...
I'm making micro adjustments, but the tremors of my muscles are being magnified 400 times. There we go. So yeah, that's a pretty good view of the crescent, at least for the next few seconds before the sun moves out of alignment again. But holy crap, that looks amazing. That is awesome. Okay guys, it is 2:30. We are within minutes of the peak. As you can see, the sun has been reduced to an arch. You're holding the card at a bit of an angle. Hold it parallel to the lens. Yeah, so you can see the moon. Given the way the moon is moving, I don't think much more of the sun than this is going to get covered. Like, maybe a little bit more along the bottom there, but yeah, for the most part, this is pretty much what the peak of the eclipse looks like for us here. A good half of the sun, maybe a little bit more than half, has been consumed by the moon's shadow.
Stop moving the lens around then.
I'm just trying to get the whole thing in so we can see the whole crescent. See? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yes. Oh yes, that is about as close to the peak as we're probably going to get. All
10
right.
more minutes.
10 more minutes. We'll take one final shot, but just in case a cloud rolled in, I just wanted to make sure that we got this image because it looks really nice now. It's about 2:45, and we have just passed the peak. I would have liked to get the peak itself, but a cloud decided to roll in right at the peak, and it wasn't bright enough to project. But now the cloud has gone by, and the sun is officially starting to get bigger again. So we have just passed the peak, and this is about as close as we can get.
It's
So,
amazing, right?
so that's as much as the sun is going to be consumed. And that is the partial solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017. Hopefully a total solar eclipse will occur within my lifetime.
Yeah, right?
Hopefully.